So in this section, in this video, I'm going to show you how I make this mark. Basically, I'm just going to show you how I can change the form from a very simple cylinder mark to something that looks complicated. And so, yes, so that just started off by making. I have this slab I prepared, and I use this template, and this is made out of tar paper. I think they use this to line the ceiling. They do this for the construction, I guess. And so I have this cut out, and what I'm going to do is this is slightly thicker than a 1/4 an inch, just because I will do a bit of alteration. I mean, like pushing and pushing. So, so I want it a little bit thicker. And right now, I'm just going to start off rounding up all the edges. All the 4 inches. And because for this mug, I'm going to not having the seam shown, so it will be flushed. So I'm cutting a bevel edge on this side, and I flip over and then cut another edge on the other side. In that way, when I put it together, it will flush. Just gonna score a little bit. This clay is fairly wet. I do not have to score a lot. And now I'm just gonna fold it, and see how the seam just come together nicely with the bevel edge meeting one another. And then now I just kind of compress a little, use the rib, smooth it out. Seam is not seen, and then I can go inside and get rid of the seam as well. Okay. Alright. So now I'm going to do the base. So I have a slab this way, and because for this base, in this case, I am showing the seam, and there's an overlap of the base and the wall. And so in this case, I'm going to cut the base a little bit bigger, like maybe a 1/4 inch all round, bigger than the cylinder. Trying to, and so this is where I'll cut. I cut it a little bigger, and I'm not so careful about the shape. I don't really have to be like evenly round, because you know it doesn't really matter in this case. And then I'm just gonna score it, round up the edges a little bit, score a little bit on this side as well. I'm using a toothbrush, and I have a bit of the slit that I made. just fold it. And then I'll use this to press seam and bring the joint together. And then at the same time I can use a paddle to just paddle it. Because I wanted it a little bit rounder, like round. It doesn't have a sharp right base this way. When I'm paddling, I'm actually moving the clay instead of just heating it. I'm kind of sliding my paddle a little bit, so I'm moving the clay at the same time. So you can see really kind of like make it a little bit like rounded base. And I'll go in and fix, making sure that my finger is not too dry. And I'll go in and fix the seam right on the inside, just to smooth it out. Just go around it and smooth out the edges. And then I can come back here and use my rib to just compress the base a little bit to avoid having any crack. And also that my mark will sit nicely. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with the shape right now, and then I'm just going to fix the rim a little bit. Just very roughly, I don't have to do. So right now I basically have a very simple cylinder, and I want to push the surface so that I have this, it's kind of like this patterns on the surface. This is particularly good if I'm going to draw on it, and in this case I can just draw something, you know, like whatever design I have in mind, and just make the surface a bit more interesting. So how I do this is that I have this wood that's given by one of my friends, and he just gave it to me. And I had some other tools that ice cream stick that I cut into like angles. And I also have another one which I don't have it here, that I cut it into this way, like diagonal cuts this way. So you know, you can cut it any way you want, just fit whatever design that you have in your mind. And I also use some of these tools if I need them, or this one, just to define the edges or the margin. All right, so let's get it going. I will set it on a piece of foam, and so the way how I do it is this is the hand with the wood. I will push it in. At the same time, my finger inside is going to push it out. Excuse me. And how much pressure you push and pull, how much pressure that you push and you exert, it will determine how the surface will change. And okay, so this is where I think I want it to be. I could have waited a little bit for this clay to be a little bit stiffer, like a soft leather hat, but because I'm doing a demo, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I mean, I can do it at a soft clay stage too, which could be interesting too. Yeah, I'm gonna, for this part here, I'm gonna push it in. So I will do this. Push it out here. And so here I will have to go in and then define it a little bit, which I think I'm going to use this. Push this one in and put this one out. And I can go back and just define the edges a little bit better. Okay. So in the process of doing this, you will notice that sometimes the wall might crack, and because of how thin it is and how much we have stretched it out. So after I finish the design and pushing and all that, I will always have to make sure to go in and check the inside and to look for any cracks, and if there is, I will fix it. I just score and add more clay and try to smooth over the cracks, and it should be fine. And you can go back and, you know, like here, I actually make a tone it. So what I would do is that I would just score a little bit, score a little bit, and I overlap a little, overlap the wall a little bit, and I'll come in and move this on the inside. Just join it back. Yeah, like I said earlier, after the whole thing is, after it's completed, like altering all this, the surface, I will always come back and check that there's no area that has got any cracks or anything, and if there is, I will fix it. Yep, I think it should be fine. The clay is still very wet. I will have time. If I see anything, I can go back and just do a little bit of repair. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here. I'm just going to show you how I would do handle, and this handle is hollow handle. So like I have a slab, I roll it up. This slab is pretty thin. It's probably about 1/8 of the thickness, and so I will cut it out in like a long trapezoid. Like a trapezoid this way. And I really do not know how long I need it, but I think this is probably maybe about 7 inches or more. And so now I am going to just smooth out. If you can see, I'm just going to smooth the edges, round up all the edges on all 4 sides. And then I will score the 2 ends and just fold it up, because this end is a little bit ripped, so I'm going to put it on the inside. And just overlap a little. And I put in something like a chopstick, just so to hold it, and I can compress the seam with something inside as a support. And at one end I will go ahead and seal it up. Okay. So now this is like a hollow handle. And I can blow it up to make it a little bit bigger, fatter. And so I am going to decide how I'm going to put a handle on this one. I typically, because this is a demo, I do it really quickly. I usually don't like fix a handle right away. I will do this handle like get the shape that I like. Maybe this is definitely too long, so maybe like let's pick a spot. So maybe like here, and I will curve it in a little just so that I have something to attach here. And then maybe I'll put it here. And so then I have this thing that's coming this way. So maybe say about, you know, it will shrink a little, so maybe, well, it's kind of quite a nice length. So maybe just a little too long. I could fold it up here. So I'm just going to fold inside. And this way. So I fold up the handle on both ends. Fold it in. You can do any way. This is how I'm thinking I'm going to do it. And then if I like the shape and the length of it, like put it here, I will leave it the shape that I want. I will just let it stiffen up a little bit to maybe letter heart, and this one too. So when both of these are about the same, similar wetness or consistency, maybe around letter heart, and then that was the time that I will score this here and this here, and score here and here, and I will just put them together this way. Yeah, I will not do it now, it's just too soft. You can see that this clay is just way too soft to have this handle attached, but this is how I would do it. So, you know, the handles kind of look big right now. It's probably a little bit too big. I might just want to make it a little bit soft, shorter. So, because bear in mind that this handle is going to shrink a little. Maybe I think it's still a little too big. So this way. Yep. Yep. I think I'm pretty happy now. And but if I'm happy, I'm just gonna leave this the way it is and let it dry up, stiffen up a little bit, and then I'll attach it later. So alright, this is how I did this mug. Alright, thank you.